Hello, everybody.
Hello, everybody. How are we doing?
Sweating, sweating, sweating. That's what
It
I'm
is
doing.
very, very hot here.
It's
For those
just
of you who don't live in the UK,
too
it's
hot.
probably just normal for you guys in the Mediterranean and Australia and beyond. But for us, it's horribly hot.
Well, I work with a couple of guys. One guy who used to live in the United Arab Emirates, and another guy who came from Italy. And both of them, I was talking to them online today, and they're both saying it's too hot here. Don't like it. So there you go. I think it's the humidity, which is, always something that they always say. It's the humidity that gets you, and it's getting me.
I was actually considering dragging out the PC out into the garden so I could just sit out there because it's not too bad out in the dark now. But
considering
indoors,
dragging mine into the shower, but then I realised that would make for one very final episode.
Yeah, mainly because if you haven't got any clothes on, we're tuning again.
No, that's
you
true.
Execute yourself or not?
Or maybe we get even more people tuning, eh?
Well, we could try it.
We got loads. We got 21 people already online tonight. Oh, 20, shouldn't have mentioned it. 20 people online. We've got Mr. Marlowe. We've got Indomito TV. Hello, Indomito TV. We haven't heard from you before on the channel. Good to see you here. Rosa, hello, Rosa. Chris Cooley. I don't think we've seen you before, Chris. Malachi. Who else? We've got Wolfman Gaz. We've got Rob Watson. We've got Timothy Greaves. I think Timothy Greaves is mostly here for the daughters. Craig Sargent. Ed Hillar. I wonder what Ed Hillar's doing online. We're not giving anything away tonight, Ed Hillar.
Sorry, mate. But the parcel has left.
The parcel is on
Took
its
it
way
away
to
on
you.
Monday morning. So hopefully it's somewhere between our house and yours.
Our house in the middle of our country. No, it's not. So there we go. Let's crack on with tonight's topic, which is all about the new warbands.
Woo!
How
Ed Hillar says he's already ordered his warbands. How did you do that?
Yeah, they're not pre. Oh, yeah, they're not preview till Saturday. He knows somebody. He's got somebody in the know. Maybe it's from a LFGS, local froggy.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
Gammy.
Well, lots of people are in tonight. Lots of people are in. It's almost like something exciting is happening in Underworld. When was the last time that happened?
Accidental Moose says he is excited. I am excited. Hello, Defiant Nerd. I'm very excited. It finally feels like Underworlds is.
Go.
It's go again. It's go again. It really does feel like that. Our numbers must be a bit down tonight. Well, I say a bit down tonight. We're up to 26, which is crazy. And
VJ says he thought we were going to talk about the Blood Bowl Season 2 reveals. Well, we could do. And loot boxes.
that was going to be our original thing, was loot boxes, yes. No, we haven't got any Matt or Loz on tonight, or the Glory Hole, so our numbers are a bit more down than normal, because normally they account for about half of our viewers.
What are they doing?
I don't know, it's disgusting, whatever it is. Obviously not together. Oh, wait, I don't know. Anyway,
shocking.
Let's not dwell on that one and move on.
I'm leaving. If they're not watching, I'm not playing.
Andrew Marlowe reckons if I take my shirt off, we could double the numbers. Double or half. It'll be a gamble. It'll be a 50-50. So, right. I think most people voted for the Bladecoven. So we're going to go with the Bladecoven stuff first. We're not going to get through them all, but we are going to quickly go through the Bladecoven.
Know what they're called? I'm terrible at knowing what they're actually called.
Yeah, so am I. But
it's
only because somebody actually wrote it out. And that's mostly why I picked them.
So is it Morgwaeth's Bladecoven?
Morgwaeth's Bladecoven.
Morgwaeth.
So let's jump over to this other view.
I've actually got less cards. Oh, you've jumped over the other view. It says just they've got less cards to talk about on the Morgwaeth. The Oryx cards were more interesting, I think.
Do they? Give it a shame.
It may be that I just was doing this in more of a hurry.
Could be that maybe you did those first.
Yeah. I did the Orcs first. Yeah, I don't know. I just found more to talk about on the Orcs. I think that's to do with war counters, which I think are going to be key.
Lazarus says sexy elves as he should be calling them. What's wrong with Orcs? Orcs are sexy. Green could be sexy.
Orcs. Sexy Orcs.
So we're going to go with these guys first, and I've got their cards up from Facebook. We're just going to have them on the screen, and we're going to talk about them. So if you have any questions or comments or opinions or anything, do like we do and just.
I've got opinions.
Just blurt them out. Everyone's got opinions, and you know what? I think anybody's opinions is a good opinion in Underworlds. You've got
yeah, okay. I'm glad you clarified.
Yeah, in Underworlds. Obviously, a lot of people out there have written lots of them summaries. There's a man's and there's I can never remember his name. He took
Michael.
Michael Collins. There's
Michael,
loads by all those guys out there, very clever people who've done lots of.
I deliberately haven't read them because I didn't want to sully my own thoughts by people who knew what they were talking about.
Neither have I. It's got nothing to do with the fact that I've been trying not to die from heat exhaustion all day.
Yeah, no, that's more to do with yeah, I haven't had time.
Yeah. So, got any questions or any comments or anything like that? Shout them out in the comments as we go. So, let's crash on with the stabby elves and see what we've got here then. So, first one we've got is Camis. So we've already got some jokes about her on the Patreon service.
Pete's new favourite warband. Your warband member. It's a swing and Camis.
She's the first fight to have combo though. The only fight to have combo.
Yeah.
Now,
it's pretty tasty, isn't it?
It isn't. It isn't because her
that's
whip...
not pretty tasty, is it? Mate?
Well, it's cool, but at the same time, just off the bat, she's got the whip, which is 3 swords, 2 damage, 2 range. So if you want to keep her safe, you're not going to get her in close to be able to use the bladed buckler for her reaction attack.
If you could just imagine if you could choose with the whip to bring somebody in closer rather than push them back, just pull them. That'd be pretty cool.
Nice. But so she can't use that, and I don't think any of the combo weapon reactions have a range of 2.
No. But if you get any of those on her, 3s, because they have to be, the combo ones are always successful attack, aren't they?
Yeah.
But 3 swords is a reasonable chance of getting a successful attack off her. You could do some pretty tasty damage.
You've got a near 50-50 chance of getting a crit on her.
Yeah. So
Accidental Moose already asked, do you reckon you can make a combo attack on a different target? You can with this one, because it just says make this attack action.
Yeah, it does, yeah. Some of them you can't, can you?
Some of them possibly not. It might have to be against someone, but this one you can attack somebody else if you wanted. So if you can get a +1 strength upgrade on her, she could do 3 damage on the whip, 2 damage on the buckler, or
and
3 and 3.
I want to know when they started off, who shit the bed when they saw that they inspired when it's the 3rd round.
Me. Yeah.
I was like, what?
3rd round? What the fuck? Oh, I see. Because there's I get you now.
But it was pretty scary.
But she goes a bit mental when she upgrades as well, because she's only 2 wounds, but when she inspires, she goes up to 2 damage and 2 swords on her other attack, and she gets 2 dodge, 5 move.
I know, that's 5 moves, pretty nice.
She's pretty fast.
Well, we knew they'd be fast. I mean, I wasn't even sure whether they might be 5 out of the blocks.
Yeah, possibly, but then the wolves, I don't think even the wolves were 5 out of the blocks.
No, they weren't, but logic... consistent logic isn't always a thing, is it, in Underworld?
No, that's true. That is true. If you're looking for logic, this is not what you want to do. Yeah. So what have we got next? We've then got Kyra, the hunter. This is the snake lady one. Brilliantly, someone's put a little comment on there of a man with a snake on him. So she has a 4 range attack with 3 swords and ensnare, which is, that's pretty handy. She does have a range movement of 5 out of the block and 2 dodge and 3 wounds. Yeah,
she's like a beefed up Althaian, is it? Do I mean Althaian? I don't mean Althaian. I mean the Guardians.
Oh, I know what you mean. Yeah.
Archer.
Yeah. She is a bit more beefed up. Yeah.
And she goes to cleave and ensnare with hammers when inspired, which is pretty tasty.
There's just no way to boost her damage capability. It's always one unless you have an upgrade of some. Well, there's not many upgrades even, is there?
No, Glory Seeker.
Oh, is it Glory Seeker? I always get Glory Seeker and Challenge Seeker.
Yeah, whichever one it is. Yeah, Glory Seeker, I think it is. There's lots of comments going off here, though. I think it's going to be hard pushed to read all the screens today.
Yep. VJ, they only inspire in the 3rd end phase if they haven't already inspired. We'll get on to Morgwaeth in a minute, but she can inspire people. Yeah. Next one is Krushas. Or Krushas.
Okay.
She's pretty rubbish. 3 swords, 1 damage.
Cursor, I think it's Cursor. So, I'm sure there's a joke in there somewhere as well.
Yeah. She gets an extra dodge, 1 and extra move when she inspires. But she gets her, if you get a crit, it's +1 damage. So it's not too bad. It's nearly half the time it's going to be 2 damage. Yeah. Next one is Lethia.
They've only got 2 wounds. I can see them. She's got Godsworn Hunt tendencies, hasn't she? Really?
Yeah, I think so.
But although she does inspire to 2 dodge, but I feel like she's the one you put some upgrades on and send in from the back, possibly storing calculated risk and cover ground or gather momentum as you go. Yeah.
The next one's Lethia.
Into the glory hole is here.
They are. Hello. Lethia is also a little bit poo. 3 swords, 1 damage. But when she inspires again, 2 dodge, 5 move. But she gets the thing where if she has 2 or more successes, resolve the deal damage step twice, which means if you get like a great strength and something else on her, she could be doing like 6 or 8 damage.
Yeah.
Oh,
3 swords. 3 swords. Yeah, maybe a bit of potion of rage, great strength.
Haymaker.
Could be tasty.
Mr. Greaves says that her and her sister is so bad, easy kills. He says, well, they are easy kills because they're only 2 wounds. So
yeah, but I guess you've got to get to them. They can sit far back.
Yeah.
You've got to get to them. You can missile them in, and of course, if you are coming towards them, then you're leaving yourself open to the other people. So I think they've got. I mean, they are, like I say, they are a bit soft, but I think they're going to hit back hard when it comes. I have to say, I hadn't really realised that you've been reading them out loud that the names have just got so much comic potential. We've got old Let Her here, and Cursor. She's got a foul mouth on her. The end. The jokes are endlessly possible.
And then we've got Morgwaeth or Mogwai the Bloodied.
Yes.
Mogwai the Bloodied at the end. Hello, Javier Rodriguez. Well, up to 42 viewers now. Thank you everybody for signing in tonight.
Listen.
Now, Peter van der Broek says you give her larval lance. I'm not sure that works because I think the double damage step only works if you use her sacrificial knives.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, only works with sacrificial knives. Well, otherwise it would be really, really
disgusting.
Mental.
But you can still put a couple of +1 damage upgrades on her, and she's still possibly doing 6 wounds. So that's still horrific.
Craig says the Russian bots are out. They're too busy finding vaccines for coronavirus. They're not here tonight.
I don't care. I'll take the Russian bots tonight. If they're going to get us up into like near triple-digit watchers, I'll take it. And we've got Mogwai the Bloodied at the end. You know, she has pretty good weapon off the bat. 2 range, 2 damage, 2 hammers and cleave. There's not many others have that straight off the bat.
No, that's pretty nice. And it goes up to 3 when she's inspired. And she has the Blood Sacrament.
Yes.
Which I don't think is necessarily that easy to pull off, I have to say, unless you're fighting a really fragile warband.
Yeah. They're going to be tough to inspire if you're up against like Nurgle or Oryx.
Yeah, but I guess arguably you don't need to as much, potentially. But yeah, it is, against those big, tough, elite warbands, they're going to be hard to inspire.
Yeah, and if she dies, then no inspiring the people till round 3.
No, and that is messy. I mean, if the Oryx kill her early, the new Oryx kill her early, then it's going to be a terrible game.
It's not going to be a good game for you.
No.
You definitely want to keep her in the backfield, I think.
Yeah.
If you come up against someone like, the Spookies or Sepulchral Guard or the Grimwatch or something, though, I mean, you're going to have a field day.
Yeah.
Because especially with the lizard lady or the snake lady with the bow with the range of 4, she could be pinging people off left, right, and centre.
Yes. Yeah.
I kind of feel like these guys, or girls as I should say, are more like Reavers 2.0. They're getting the double dodges, they're getting the extra moves like they do.
Very Reaverish, aren't they?
Yeah.
Have they got a Sayic?
Well, not so much.
No.
They haven't got a Sayic. Well, they kind of do, possibly, in that Lethia has the double damage potential.
Yeah, that's true. But that's quite... You've got to get 2 successive damage to get double damage. You want to be counting on that.
Yeah. I mean,
it's almost like a nice to have, unless you've got Potion of Rage. And there are a few other extra 1+1 dice and plus dice cards in the universals, which we'll look at in a bit.
But you've got more range on these guys because Kira's got a range 4 attack, the bow lady.
I mean that gives her an immense range.
Yeah, Camissa's got a range 2 attack. The 2.
She moves 5 and shoots 4.
Yeah.
So you potentially could almost, not quite, but almost charge backwards and score. Gather momentum.
Yep. I think their 2 chumps are better than Khorne's 2 chumps. I think I agree with that one, but yeah.
Yeah, no, I would definitely agree with that. Although obviously not better. One of them even has borrowed his pose.
Yep, they did. Yeah, that's true.
Cursor has got old Targor's pose.
Some people are already saying that the wild token abilities are decisive on the Oryx. I definitely think that they will be key, and we will come on to those. We'll have to set ourselves a limit. I think by about quarter 2 we'll jump over to the Oryx if we haven't already.
Let's rattle on them.
So let's crash on. Let's look at some cards.
Woo.
Right, upgrade cards. What have we got? Blessings of Cain. Squad end phase of 2 or more surviving friendly fighters are inspired. One glory for inspiring two.
Yeah,
kill two people.
one glory in end phase is almost not worth taking now. Especially as that's not very easy.
Yeah, I kind of feel like that's kill two people. That could be very swingy. If you're up against three fighter warband, you've got almost no chance of scoring that one in the first round.
If you fight worse bet, or I don't know what they're called, the Aurochs, new Aurochs. Well, they're basically going to be called new Aurochs for the whole time.
Crusher. They remind me of the cat, the weird milkshake advert with the kittens. Crusher.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but yeah. It is a slightly shit version of Fired Up, Megalos points out. Good point. Not worth it. Take Fired Up. Next card. It's a surge.
It's a very good point, yeah.
Yeah, well spotted there, Megalos.
Well, they will be rotating out soon, of course, but yes.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, let's try not to dwell on the shit ones, otherwise we will be here all night.
Blood right. Score this immediately when a friendly fighter holding an objective makes an attack action that takes an enemy fighter out of action. Jealous Defense could be useful for that.
Yeah, I'm still not sure I'd take it.
It's tricky.
Yeah.
But, yeah, possibly. Consecrate Decay. Score immediately when a friendly fighter's range 1 or 2 attack takes an enemy fighter holding an objective out of action.
I think I'd be more likely to take that one.
Yeah, your opponent... Well, I don't know at the minute, but yeah, maybe it's more likely you're going to have opponent fighters on objectives.
Yeah, but you can also make that happen with cards.
Yeah, true. Shenanigans.
It's hard. It can be harder to charge or get onto an objective to attack, I think. So I think I'd be more likely to take that one. I'm not sure I'd take either, though.
That's 2 surge at the minute. Daughters of the First Temple, scoring an end phase if 2 or more enemy fighters are out of action. Well, that kind of goes with the first one we saw. We just have 2 people inspired almost, because you've got to kill 2 people to inspire 2. And again,
somebody has a similar card. I can't think who it is. It might be.
Might be Nurgle has one. If it's 3 fighters out of action, you've got at least 1 alive. But I think there might be 2 glory.
I feel like I think there's one that's half, isn't there? Which equates to 2 when playing the Worms. But I think that's the one I'm thinking of. Jan
Sigvek says that he pre-ordered the Coven even before seeing the cards. Where are you ordering these from? I want them.
Yeah.
Order me some.
I would definitely. I mean, obviously we're going to get them anyway. But yeah, I mean, I would buy them. The models are great. I'm looking forward to playing them. I think they're the weaker of the 2, but time will tell.
We'll see. Next one is Devoted Disciple, scoring an end phase if 1 or more surviving friendly fighters has 1 or more wound tokens. I mean, that's pretty easy to do with like a calculated risk or something like that.
Yeah, it's just keeping the person alive for the end phase.
Calculate risk them through and back off into a back corner or something like that.
Yeah, that's true. With movement 5, you could do that.
Yeah.
If you're lucky, score cover ground along the way.
Perfect kill. Hello, precise use of force. Basically,
yeah.
Kill someone with exactly
the right damage. It's a really strong card, so you've got to think that this is going to be in there, especially when you've got a 4-range, very accurate archer to mop up those people who do use their 2 wound fighters to go for calculated risk.
Yeah,
that's. I think that's a must-have.
Yeah, I think this has got to be in your deck, regardless of what you're playing with these guys. It's nearly always going to have some form of offense in it. It's going to have this card, I think. Proof of Devotion. I think this one was rubbish. Scoring in 3rd end phase if all enemy fighters are out of action or your warband holds all objectives in enemy territory. 3 glory.
Yeah. Unless you're doing some flipping.
Yeah.
I can't see this being taken very much.
If you're going to wiping your opponent out, you might as well go for Annihilation and go for
Andrew says the first part is decent. It is decent, but I think you only want to be really relying on having 1 objective in your opponent's half, because the chances of you having 2 fighters left at the end of the game, I reckon, is pretty slim.
With these ones, yeah. He says the second part is decent, not the first.
3 glory if you've won already. It's what I don't know, as Jeff says. Yeah, that's pretty.
Yeah, he's a bit like that.
Yeah, accurate. Yeah.
Purposeful Strike, scores an end phase if friendly fighter with 1 or more charge tokens is holding an objective. Charge onto an objective and hit someone at the same time.
Yeah, but it's an end phase card though, so then you've got to stay there.
Yeah, that's like a 4th round charge snaky lady onto something and shoot someone kind of card maybe.
Yeah.
I'm looking at the Lego man, I'm not looking at the camera. He's not talking to me. Absolute stillness. Now, I couldn't decide on this one. This is a duel. A friendly quarry holding an objective, and the fighter has no move or charge tokens. This one seems crap to me, I think.
Okay, this is we've gone into the universals now.
Yes, we have gone into universals.
Good point. This is one of those cards. I think there's quite a lot of these cards. It struck me that if you're playing Hrothgorn, there's a lot of cards in here that are great. But they're not necessarily good for everybody else. But anything that... Because everybody's a quarry, so suddenly... you only have to push somebody onto an objective, and that's 2 glory if you're playing Hrothgorn.
Yeah, that's true.
Which is pretty nice. And this card would be pretty great for Eyes of the Nine. So you could teleport. You could move an objective onto a starting hex, and then teleport, either using Deceitful Step or just teleport the blue horror in. They have to be a quarry, don't they? So you have
to be a quarry, and that's the other problem.
But it's if you're playing Hrothgorn in particular, it's straight away.
MacLeod says, "Why did the girls get all the shit cards? This isn't fair." I don't know. I mean, Beastmen have a lot of shit cards. Nurgle have a lot of shit cards. Mind you, they've got a girl as well, so you know.
That's true.
But Peter Vanderbroek does point out you could that you can get charge tokens for other things like Tome of Glories. Move on to it, use Tome of Glories. That is another way of scoring that other card as well. Ahead of the Hunt is the one where you have to be on an objective and have a charge token. So you could do that with Tome of Glories.
You've got to have no move or charge tokens. So
no, not that one. The previous one we had Purposeful Strike.
Oh yeah.
Friendly fighter, one or more charge tokens holding an objective.
Yeah, okay, that's true. No, that's true.
Next one, Ahead of the Hunt, scoring in the end phase if there are at least one surviving friendly quarry. Like you say, possibly very easy if you're up against Hrothgorn. Otherwise,
exactly. It's very easy. Although Andrew says quarry might be a thing for playing quarry cards, because I think there's more objectives that make you think, okay, maybe it's worth.
Especially if you take the one which puts you on guard all the time or whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
It's restricted, but. Hidden Purpose next, a Surge card, score immediately after an activation. Your warband holds 2 or more objectives, so it's a 1 glory. I can't think of it. Temporary victory.
Temporary victory. Yeah.
So that's quite an easy one to score. It's possibly better to go for that.
That's going to end up in a lot of decks, especially with thingy being restricted.
And 2 steps forward and stuff like that, which enables you to move 2 fighters. Beastmen could use that one as well, because they've got the one that pushes 2 hunters, 2 hexes each.
Especially as there's quite a few cards now for scoring. There's the one if you score so many Surge cards.
Yeah, and
there's a couple of other ones for scoring multiple types of card. I can see these very easy objectives stacking with those quite nicely.
Yeah,
and that is pretty easy.
Next one, Master of Hazard, score immediately after you flip a second or subsequent feature token. In this phase,
it depends if you're going all in on that, which I think is a viable build now. Then I think you might take that, but only if you're going for that build.
Yeah, Javier points out the last one is a better version of Swift Capture as well, which is very true.
Yes, that is a good point.
Next one is No One is Safe. Score immediately after a second or subsequent enemy fighter is taken out of action by damage dealt by a Gambit in this phase. So it's a bit like. What's that one? There's another card where you score it if you kill someone with a Gambit. I can't remember what it's called though now. It's like someone falling.
Yeah, there is. It's I can't remember what it's called.
But this is the second or subsequent, so this is.
Yeah, no, I can immediately see that people will try and argue this. Score this after a second or subsequent enemy fighter is taken out of action by damage dealt by a Gambit in this phase. Does that mean the second one to be taken out by a Gambit, like both have to be taken out by a Gambit, or does it mean just the second fighter is taken out by a Gambit?
Yeah, could be.
I can see that already being a subject of debate.
I think this is the second fighter is taken out with a Gambit, and it doesn't matter how the first fight was taken out, so I guarantee you it would be the other way now.
You see, I feel like it's the other way around, funnily enough, but I think that people will argue that it's not.
Yeah.
But I don't think I'd take it anyway. So it's probably a moot point. I'm not sure. Unless you're doing a lot of ping damage, I'm not sure that many people would take that card.
Javier points out that the previous one about holding 2 objectives is a better version of Swift Capture, and you could go for both at the same time. And someone else pointed out Unexpected Pitfall is the other one I was thinking of.
Okay, yeah.
Wolfman Gaz agrees with you. Robin says the damage source needs to be Gambits on both, so we'll see how the FAQ works out on that one. It's another.
Yeah, and he says it's tough to do. He's basically me.
Yeah. I think that's another example of GW woolly wording that needs to be cleared up.
Just be careful what you're saying. I've just noticed that Wolfman Gaz is actually WG, which is GW backwards.
Oh my god!
Just be careful what you're saying. Set the tempo. I really like this card. I have absolutely no idea whether it's any good because I haven't sat down and worked out what the possible cards are to have, but I just really like it.
Pajama Gagarin says that he's just dropped by to tell us he absolutely loves our Necromunda back reps.
Hey!
Well, we'll be doing more of those at some point. So
we were gonna record soon, but we're obviously going to be doing these guys for a couple of weeks now. But we will get back to those Necromunda ones as soon as we can.
Into the Glory Hole tells you that set the tempo is wank.
Oh, is it? Okay, but I like it. I don't care. Isn't it just like a more difficult to score superior tactician?
It kind of is a bit, yeah. 2 dual, 2 hybrid, 6 or more total scored.
But I can't remember. It's the dual ones that are the real problem. I can't remember what is scoreable.
I think I agree with Matt.
It must be good because Andrew says it's a deck you'd be interested in making work. So it must be a good card.
I mean, if you just take loads and loads of dual and hybrid cards,
yeah,
maybe it's okay. But you've got to score. You've got to score 6 cards in total. Really, really, yeah.
Andrew Marlowe, that's the stamp of quality right there. Exactly.
It'd be good for a fun deck. It won't be good for a competitive deck, and that was the other discussion we were going to have tonight. Was all around sort of making games fun versus competitive and the longevity of it.
Yeah, I think it really rests on how difficult or easy the dual and hybrid cards are to score. Because obviously you do normally score six or more objective cards. Yeah. So I think
it is a lot of work though. It is a lot of work, but you could get it by doing all your other stuff. And that's a sign of a nice card. It gives you a 3 glory boost for just doing what you're doing anyway. So possibly,
yeah. I mean, it's a slightly more complicated superior tactician.
Yeah. Next one, Test of Courage. Scores an end phase if 2 or more friendly fighters are standing in lethal hexes. It's 2 glory, but I mean, you've got to possibly do 2 damage to people unless you're going for the flip card mentality.
Yeah, it's an interesting one. That one, I think. I mean, it's got
perfect for
if you're
thorns.
A Lady Harrow, I can see you taking this one.
Perfect for Banshees or Thorns.
Yeah. And obviously you want as many lethal hexes as possible. If you're playing anything else, you probably want to minimise the number of lethal hexes, I think. But I think otherwise, although I did think it was quite reasonable for Eyes of the Nine actually as well, because you basically don't care if Navia and Taurus got killed. So if you just if you sit them in lethal hexes, then
and you could dump the blue horror on a lethal hex, and they're not going to die straight away.
Exactly.
Either.
Yeah. Exactly. So I can see. I'm working in my mind on a build for Eyes of the Nine, and I can see that one might sneak in.
I do think it's mostly going to be in every single spooky deck you ever see, though, until it gets restricted.
Yeah, no Beast Spartans, but if Thorns ignore lethal hexes, can they score this? Will be the question that's asked for the
FAQ. They don't. It's not that they don't count them as lethal hexes; they just ignore them. So I guess that is the question. And it could be that GW say no, because they ignore lethal hexes, they can't use it at all. But
yeah, maybe.
Maybe
not. I feel like there's a precedent, and I can't think what it is, but I feel like there's something very similar that they've ruled that it does count. I can't think what it is.
Yeah. But anyway, we're on to the next one. Ritualised formation. So we're back onto the.
It says treat them as normal.
Okay. So maybe they don't get it then.
Yeah.
If they're not lethal hexes, I don't know. But they are still lethal hex.
Yeah, I don't know. Get right in FAQ writers.
Yeah, FAQ writers, get on it. How did people not come up with this? It's taken us like less than 3 minutes to go, oh, what about this scenario? That's an interesting one. How the fuck didn't they get that in playtesting? How did no one read that card and not go, what about ghosts? And the writers go,
we're basically idiots.
We're fuckwits, and we came up with that one. How have they not spotted this? They wrote the bloody game. Disgusting. But anyway, I still love it. Score this in an end phase if your warband holds 3 or more objectives. So,
ever seen a card like this before?
They've given
totally new.
They've given an offensive warband a bloody supremacy. Thanks very much for that.
It's how they do it. It's what they like to do. There must be, I reckon, there must be a retainer or something for the amount of supremacy cards they can get in the game.
It could be. Craig Sargent says, "Blame, can you roll a crit? He's been banging on about being a playtester recently." I'm not touching that one.
Has he?
I don't know. Next one is Swift Sacrifice. Scores immediately when a friendly leader or Kyra makes a range 1 or 2 attack action that takes an enemy fighter out of action. So it's kind of like a slightly more specific kill somebody card, which isn't too bad. You've got 2 options there.
That is doing, scoring glory for what you want to do anyway. But it's just, I suppose, it's a question of having it in your hand because she's probably only going to kill one person before she's flattened.
Possibly.
She is one of the better fighters, isn't she? But it's one of those cards that if you don't have this, if you have it at the wrong time, then it's a dead card. Yeah. So I'm not sure I would take it.
Next one is Torturous Death. Score immediately when your warband makes third or subsequent attack action against the same enemy fighter this phase. That's a bit like... you used to take that one a lot with... I can't remember their name. Godsworn Hunt. You had to make 3 attacks against the same target. I don't think I'd take this one.
No, there was one that was it against the same target? I'm not sure. I can't remember. I never feel that's very good because you basically want to try and kill things.
Yeah, you're wasting 3 activations just to... Yeah, basically, don't like it. Moving on. You could use combo attacks and stuff, maybe, but
I can say it's quite good with combo, and it's good. It's got Ripper on here, but obviously there's a similar card for Rippers, I think, which is quite good.
Janzukovic pointed out that one of the cards says friendly leader and not the name itself. Maybe there's a way to make other Mongols leaders. I mean, we haven't seen one yet, but maybe they're planning ahead for season 4.
There is one, but I can't remember. There is one in the old.
There was, I can't remember.
3 activations for 1 or 2 glory is bad. Yes, no beef set party says that. Yeah,
but you could possibly get more than with a combo. You could possibly get 2 attacks off in 1 round and then pay maybe a jealous defense for 3. But it's a lot, Second in command was the other card. Thank you, no beef. So Triumphant Stance next. Score this in an end phase if one friendly fighter is holding an objective and no other fighter is holding an objective. I can't work out if this is good or not, really.
Well, it's uncontested, but easier to score.
And slightly less glory, isn't it? Isn't uncontested
it's
3?
It's 1 less glory, yeah. So I think it's reasonable.
I'd possibly go for this over uncontested.
Yeah, possibly. Well, with this warband, I think I would.
Yeah.
That makes sense. But you can't do it with the others. So, I think so. Uncontested's a funny one. I think it would depend on how you play in the band.
Yeah, I feel, the Hunter Hunted.
Uncontested is a great card. I like Uncontested as a card, but it is very hard to score and can be quite out of your control. But I do like it.
Yeah, depending on how your opponent's playing as well.
Yeah.
Next one is Hunter Hunted. Score immediately after a friendly quarry's attack action takes an enemy hunter out of action. Again, it's another bonus. It's 2 glory.
It's another great card if you're playing against Hrothgorn, because they've got some less easy. They've got some more easy to kill hunters.
Are the Noblars hunters? Because somebody's got a comment saying extra glory for killing Noblars. Oh, someone else pointed out Noblars aren't hunters, so yeah.
The cat is.
Oh, that's true. Yeah. I mean, there's not.
Again, the cat's not easy to kill.
Beastmen as well. They've got loads of 2 wound shitty hunters as well.
But they don't make everybody a quarry. But yes,
no, that's true.
If you can get the quarry thing going, then this is a good card.
2 glory is real solid. It's almost worth taking that card that they restricted, which makes you a quarry, but puts you on guard all the time, because 2 dice dodges, but on guard, you're then rolling shields as well. That's pretty tasty.
Yeah. Ed Halas says it's terrible against all season 1 and 2 warbands.
Yeah, that is true.
That is a good point. That is a very good point. Uncontested are both great if you accept you need all the distractions, Anonymous Jeff says, which I agree with, and that kind of then you're kind of forced down a channel there, because you can't really go as offensive if you're having to pack your deck with as many distractions as possible.
Yeah, that's true. Next card, Abundance of Caution. I don't like this one. Score. This is good for Nurgle, I think, or something like that. Score immediately after an activation or power step for all surviving friendly fighters have 1 or more guard tokens.
And there is a card in here for putting 2 guard tokens on at once as well, isn't there?
Yeah, so I can see a combination going on there. Now, Into the Glory says there's a lot of activations for 1 glory, but there are cards to put you on guard. So I think there's also, is there not a lost page to give people guard tokens? Maybe.
So it is a surge card. Yeah. So it makes it a bit better. What does the one that enables you to do it mid attack? Does that give you a counter, or does it just put them on guard? Does it give you a token?
I don't think it gives you a token.
It doesn't give you a token.
Because there's the one that makes you a quarry, just says you were on guard, but it doesn't say
you don't get a token. So that's a subtlety to look out for.
Yeah, one to keep an eye on. Bloodbane Venom. We're onto the ploys now, which is quite nice actually. Place after a friendly fighter successful range 1 or 2 attack. Roll 3 dice and any crits they do 1 damage.
Yeah,
so average of 0 for me.
Could be brilliant.
Could kill someone. Could do fuck all. In my case,
that's
probably.
The problem with it. It's a poison, so it would contribute to that new objective, which is about poisons. But I think this one's for fun games, not for competitive games.
Yeah, although I mean we've seen people do well with very dice dependent decks because the randomness can really cause hassle. So
Yeah.
next one I quite like, Carve a Rune.
I really like this card. Again, I don't know if it's any good, but I just really like it. I love the thematics of it, and yeah, I think it's an extra glory. There's a couple of extra glory mechanics in this warband, aren't there?
Yeah, and it's a reaction after you've made the roll, so you haven't got to commit to it. You can decide, oh, I've rolled a crit, therefore I'll just get a glory. It's spent, but it's still a glory.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, I hadn't noticed that. I assumed it was like the other one where you roll dice, but no, I hadn't actually noticed that it was.
Infinite Glory Hole asks, what's the odds of getting a crit on 3 dice? It's 40 something, high 40s, mid to high 40s percent, so near 50%.
Less Pete's rolling.
Unless I'm rolling, in which case it's
0.
minus 20%. Next one, Catechism of Murder. Choose a friendly fighter. That fighter is inspired. Now, it says restricted Morgwaeth, so does that mean it has to be Morgwaeth who's inspired, or does it just mean that she has to be alive for her to use it to inspire someone else?
I think you play it with Morgwaeth to choose a friendly fighter.
Yeah, I agree.
It needs an FAQ because people will argue it.
Yeah,
if
even
people having the same number as both of them having the most.
Yeah,
people can argue that means it's only for Morgwaeth.
even that this is explained in the rule book.
She has to be alive. People are saying she has to be alive. We're not disputing that. It's just whether it only. I suppose it does say choose one friendly fighter. It's okay. Sorry, no, ignore me.
Duly ignored. We're up to 61 viewers. Hello to all of you,
Hey.
and thank you for joining us tonight. Next one is Crimson Rejuvenation. Heal 1 each friendly fighter within 2 hexes of your leader. That's possibly nice.
Yeah, it's one of those cards. You think that's nice, but it never makes the final cut.
Yeah, it's like it's got that potential.
I'm just gonna manage.
Yeah, it's like it's just so close, and then it's always no, I can't.
And also, I mean, if it was for the Aurochs, then it would be worth having because they've got so many wounds.
Yeah.
But here, 1 wound, you're
be
likely be dead. So I'm not sure I'd take it.
Yeah, Andrew Myers said the same. 1 hit and they're dead. So
Yeah.
the next one is your favourite, Robin, Drilled to Perfection.
Who gave this name to the card?
Choose 1 friendly fire and up to 1 adjacent friendly fire. Give each chosen fighter 1 guard token. So that goes quite well with the
Yes,
with
that's
that other
what I
one.
was thinking. Yeah, I hadn't realised it was drilled to perfection.
And it's a ploy, so you could go on guard in your turn, or play this one at the end of your opponent's active power step, then go on guard, and boom, you've scored that objective. So
Yeah.
Fanatical Faith. First time friendly fighter would be dealt any amount of damage, then take 1. We've seen a lot of that card before.
Yeah, it's pretty nice. I
It's
quite
always
like
nice. It's always nice to play that the minute your opponent is gearing up for a kill.
Yeah.
It's always nice to really disappoint them.
I mean, it's not as good as Insensate, which drives me insane when I'm playing Warhammer Underworlds Online, because that's just the next damage, isn't it? You haven't got to pick a fighter.
Yeah.
Oh no, it is a friendly fighter. No, it is the same. Sorry, you don't choose one. Yeah, so it is the same.
Yeah, it's just a friendly fighter. You don't have to pick the fighter. It's just whoever gets hit. So that's, I like cards like. I probably need to always take that kind of card because it means you can Hail Mary on your 4th activation before your opponent goes, and then go, yeah, you're not going to kill him this time.
No, exactly. Yeah.
Headlong Fury next. Choose 1 inspired friendly fighter. So a bit specific. The chosen fighter makes a move action, but they do not get a move token.
I think that's immense. Although they do have to be inspired. But I think
have to be inspired. But I can see you killing someone, inspiring someone in your backfield, and then loading them up with upgrades, and then playing this to then shove them right down the board, and then make their charge attack before anybody's even ready for it.
Yeah, I think. I mean, it's a brilliant action economy one, isn't it? I mean, that's what we're always talking about. Cards with action economy. I think it's a good card. And
it helps you score that other one, which is having a quarry on an objective without any move tokens.
Yep,
so
that's true.
As well.
Yeah.
Next one's Incredible Agility. In the next activation, friendly fighters other than Kyra treat lethal hexes as normal and can move through occupied hexes but cannot end their move in an occupied hex. I'm always a bit meh about these kind of cards.
Yeah, I mean, again, it'd be useful for that two glory objective we were talking about, but I think there's too much card for one objective, so I'm not sure I'd take it.
Yeah. Perfect Precision. You can reroll 1 attack dice in the next attack action made by friendly fighters in the next action. I murdered that, but basically you get a 1 dice reroll in the next attack.
Yeah. It's not bad,
Okay.
but I don't think it'll ever make it.
I think I'd rather take the +1 dice card over that. I'd rather have more chances of rolling extra crits than re-rolling one dice.
I think you're probably right.
Zealot's Rage. Play this after a friendly fighter's attack that fails. Have another attack.
That's
They're
pretty
always
cool
a nice
card.
one.
Everybody has that card.
Yeah, it's a nice one. Miss and have another go. Crimson Shard. You can re-roll one attack
Go
dice.
see the doctors about that.
This is the first upgrade, so this is a Morgwaeth specific upgrade, and it basically gives her a awakened weapon. I mean, there's worse things to have. She's only got 2 hammers, so...
Yeah, it's not bad.
Crownblade. Zog me, swords drinking me zogging blood. How would you know? How would you... Could you hear like a sort of slurping through a straw?
I presume it laughs like a crow.
Could be. So this just
it's
has
not
a
bad actually, because 3 swords 2 damage with a couple of upgrades.
Yeah.
Well, you know, with great strength, I think it's pretty meaty, and it healed. I mean, the heal is kind of, as we've said, they're a bit squishy anyway. So the heal is perhaps not that useful, but it's not. No, it's not bad. Again,
it's a solid card. Solid card. Death Dancer. Reaction after this fight's attack action. Push this fighter 1 hex. Not bad, and it helps you get some people out of splatting range if you don't want them to get splattered.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oracle's Butcher.
Some people saying the Oracle quotes are great, only beaten by the Grimwatch text. I love the Grimwatch text. It's like the little subtext underneath. Get them, my loyal fellows.
Oh, somebody says they already have okay attacks and don't need heals. Yes, you're probably right. I wasn't considering it in terms of their own attacks. That's a good point. What's a super action? Daniel Trigg says, what's a super action? That's basically a charge and possibly any new things they add. So it's when you do a movement and then the attack becomes a super action, and it has rules when you can and can't do things.
Yeah, it's important because it means that you can't score objectives till you're outside of that super action. So you're outside of the move and the attack portion. You can't inspire people in the case of the old orcs, that kind of thing.
The art looks like Buffy the Vampire Layer. Is that?
MacLeod is watching something else in bed, I think.
Yeah.
So what is this card? High Oracle's Butcher. After this fight's attack action that gains an adjacent enemy fire takes an enemy fire out of action, gain 1 additional glory. So it's I think the Grimwatch have exactly the same card here. It's basically Tome of Offerings, but you have to be right next to him.
Yeah.
Which
is I guess you probably take.
Oh, but it's for Kyra,
I've forgotten to look. Are these hunters? How many of them are hunters?
Only one, I think. No, in fact, I think one of them's a hunter. I think the snake lady with the bow is a hunter, and that's
okay. Right, so trophy hunter is
possibly better.
Trophy belt or whatever it is.
I don't know. This one's for Kyra, which is
I'm not sure. It's restricted to 1 fighter. I'd probably not bother.
Yeah, especially as it's Kyra. I can't remember how good she is. I don't think she's brilliant.
She's the better one. She's the better of the not leaders.
Okay. Next one is Invigorated Attack, +1 dice for attack actions. I mean, there's whilst holding an objective. It's a bit more specific because the Grimwatch have one which just gives them +1 dice for their attack actions, whereas this one you have to be on an objective. But they've given you an example there of who could benefit from it quite nicely, which is Snake Lady. Snaky legs.
Yeah, I mean, it's +1 dice is always handy. Somebody's made the point that the High Oracle Butcher card would be good if you with siding attacks. And she's the one with combo as well, isn't she, Kyrie? So I think it's got potential.
Yeah. This one's pretty much for Snake Lady. I don't think you give it to anybody else.
Which one's that? Invigorated Attack?
Invigorated Attack, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
You do have 2 range fighters, Aragion Argo has pointed out, so some option. Rapturous Defense, +1 defense for Carissa or Lethia. I mean, +1 defense is nice. They'd be on 3, but they are the worst of the fighters.
They are, but then if you can tool them up Godsword style, then if they've got 3 defense,
Godsword style,
that's pretty. Could be pretty good.
Yep, that's not bad. Rune of Cain. When this fighter is taken out of action by an enemy fighter's attack, before removing this fighter, each adjacent enemy fighter is dealt 1 damage. It's for Morgwaeth.
Yeah, it's not very good.
No, I don't think I'd take that one. Rune of Slaughter, +1 damage. This fighter's range 1 and 2 attacks for each crit. That could be possibly very nice.
Goes up nice with Peerless Fighter, doesn't it, Andrew?
Ooh.
But I don't think I'd take it because the best way to ensure that you don't roll any crits is to have a card like that on your
Yep.
fighter.
The best way to not roll a crit is to say, I just need one crit.
Yeah, Andrew said peerless fighter.
Yeah, I think that's possibly a pass.
Should be compulsory for taking the next card. Sorry, I've moved on, Pete.
Oh, sorry, you've moved on.
Sorry.
Victor of 1,000 Jewels.
It's just such a great card. I don't know if it's a great card. It's just a great card name.
So what is this one then?
Victor of 1,000 Jewels. Just love it. Sorry.
During a range 1 attack action that drives this fighter, that targets this fighter and fails, it's basically a bit like having a good time.
Yeah, I mean, it isn't that good.
Attack.
I think the Aurochs might have a better version of it.
Basically 50-50 chance if someone fails to hit you, to hit them back.
Yeah, dice dependent upgrades of poop. Yes, that's definitely my feeling. Although I do know people who thrive on them, like Tim.
Mr. Tim.
Tim plays them. I mean, but I feel like the Aurochs have got a better version of them. But I just love the name of the card. I might just cut the name out and put it on another card that's better.
Next one, Whirly Whip.
There's a siding attack,
but it's only range 1. That's a miss
it's a siding
for me.
attack, but it doesn't marry with that other card because that was for Kyrie only.
Yeah, so that's a no. Euphoric Dust. We're on to the generics now. We are at the Q2 mark. Do we go over to the Aurochs and come back maybe if we have time? What do people
nearly
think?
finished. I don't know how many we've got left. We've got quite a lot left.
Yeah.
Let's just keep going. But let's try to speed it up.
Screw it. Let's go then. All right. So Euphoric Dust. Choose an enemy fighter adjacent to one of yours. -1 defense to a minimum of 1.
It's all right.
Yeah, but it seems a bit specific.
Yeah. It's quite good if you've got somebody crap in there and you play it. It'd be good for like goblins.
Yeah.
You've always got adjacent somebody, and then.
But it's the -1 defense. I mean, how often do people have 3 defense?
Quite often these days.
Yeah, true. Maybe.
I'm not sure about that. I don't know. It depends if there was a better poison build.
I think there's. Oh yeah, maybe if you're going for lots of poisons or something.
But there isn't the poison build isn't that great anyway. But this isn't speeding up, so let's stop debating.
Undecided on that one. What's the next one?
Glorious Triumph. Yeah, this is pretty nice.
Play this after a friendly fighter's attack action that takes an enemy fighter out of action, adjacent enemy fighter out of action. You do have to be next to them. Your warband is considered to hold 1 more objective than it holds. This effect persists until that friendly fighter is taken out of action. Wow, that's.
Or the start of the next round. Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Stops weird.
It's a FU to uncontested.
It is a bit, yeah. Honest Scrap. Players cannot reroll dice.
Easier. That's a good point. It makes supremacy easier.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good point. Yeah. And it makes that one we hold 2 objectives easy because you've only got to be holding 1.
Yeah.
That's actually getting better and better and better as I think about it.
It's a good card, I think. Everybody seems to think it's a good. Everyone will use Glorious Triumph. Somebody just said, yeah.
Everyone's going to use it.
Yeah.
That is a good card. See that on the restricted list soon. Players cannot reroll dice till the end of the next activation. Kind of about that.
Not enough rerolls in the game, are there?
Not really. No, I don't think so.
Make that worthy.
Hunter's attack. In the first attack action made by a friendly fighter, each friendly support is considered to be 2.
Yeah, we've seen cards there before. A spell.
Ooh, a spell. Hunting Bolt. Choose an enemy fighter within 3 hexes. They're dealt 1 damage, or 2 if it's a quarry.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Well, it makes you think twice about taking the upgrade that makes you a quarry for all those other benefits.
Yeah.
It's range 3, so. Yeah, possibly. Malking Grace. Choose 1 friendly fighter to have the following: +2 move, -1 wounds. No thanks.
No.
Oh, it only persists until the end of the round. Or they're taken out of action, but +2 move? I don't think I'd bother with that.
No, I don't think so. Not when you've got cards like Spectral Wings in the game.
No, that's true. That's a good point. Why would you take this over Spectral Wings?
Only if you wanted both.
Quick search. Play if your warband holds 1 or more objectives. Draw 2 cards. Max Bernstein's already put a band on that one. Yeah, I reckon that one's going to get restricted real quick.
Yeah.
That's a real nice card. Spiteful Dart. Reaction after enemy fighter's attack. They're dealt 1 damage. Not bad.
Not bad.
But it's just a you hit me, I'll do you a wound back kind of thing.
Yeah.
Not sold. Yeah, could be good.
Spectral
Victimised.
Wings would be gone next season, though, right? No beef party. So I don't think so. They reprinted
No.
Spectral Wings in
Yeah.
the thingy pack, the Beastgrave pack, the whatever it's called, gift pack. So I
Yeah,
think
the gift pack that came out near the end of last. Well, it was last year, wasn't it?
yeah. Somebody's pointing out that the reaction window there for Spiteful Dart stops you from being pushed back and trapped and things like that. Potentially, the reaction window is quite a key one
I
after
don't know,
enemies
because you still get pushed back. It's after an enemy fights attack
yeah,
action.
they can't then play. I can't remember the exact windows, but I think it does stop some of
yeah,
those.
yeah, you can't place employees. Yeah,
Yeah, it does stop
Sorry,
some employees being played after the fact, which is quite nice.
yeah, there is
Yeah,
that.
pit trapping in snare can't go off. He says. I mean, I'll
Yeah.
take his word for it, but victimise.
+1 dice to the next range 1/2 attack action made by a friendly fighter. If the attack action targets a quarry, you can re-roll any number of the dice. You know,
Nice.
yeah, it's okay, but
Yeah,
you're not going to get the quarry bit
No.
very often.
An Amberbone Mace. I missed this one when I was looking earlier.
2 hammers, 2 damage. Keep moving.
Standard, yeah.
Yeah,
And
nothing
a
much
bloody
there.
axe. Oh, I've left my bloody axe behind.
3 swords, 2 damage. If this fight has 2 or more wound tokens, double the damage.
Yeah.
3 swords, 4 damage is quite nasty. Get a great strength or something on there.
Yeah, it's got potential,
Yeah.
but yeah, one of those cards.
Into the Glory Hole says Amber Mace is solid. Not very, it smashes the minute you hit someone with it.
Yeah, solid enough though.
That's true. Solid enough to do them in to start with.
Yeah,
Greedy Gauntlet. This is where the sacrifice counters come in.
this doesn't seem worth it to me.
No, I don't think so either.
If it was +1 dice, I might consider it. But damage, it's such a.
You've got
if
to
you
hit,
miss,
haven't you?
If you miss, it's basically nothing. So yeah, I'm not sure.
Craig Sargent says that the mace looks like it's made of bananas. It does kind of look like it's made of bananas. I'm a bit disappointed to see that Greedy Gauntlet is the thing that uses the sacrifice counters, because I don't think anyone's ever going to take it.
No.
So that's a bit of a shame.
Hunter's Talisman.
+1 dice. This one is a Hrothgorn card.
Hunter, only one, yes. It's pretty good.
I think that'll get restricted because of it, because it's just
Yeah,
so good
+1
for.
fighters for his attack. Yeah, it is too good.
It's too good for Hrothgorn. It just gives him, isn't it 4 dice he rolls? That's just disgusting.
Yeah.
That'll get restricted
that's
or banned, one of the two, very soon, I
There's
reckon.
another lost page. I obviously didn't get this far when I was looking earlier. I haven't seen these before.
Keeler's Choking Coil. So, it's a Swirly's 1 damage, 3 range attack. On crits, it's +1 damage. It's okay.
So with Empowered Sorcery on Vortivus, it's pretty.
Yeah, possibly.
Good.
But isn't his own attack?
Mind you,
good
his
anyway?
own one does 2 damage, so ignore that.
Yeah, you don't have to rely on the crit, so.
Yeah.
Predator's Trinket. It could be good for someone like Fecula. Although
Yeah.
this is Swirly's and she rolls lightning, so.
Yeah, so no, it's not.
But the crisp crit gives you +1 damage, so I'm undecided there. Anyway, Predator's Trinket. This fight is a quarry. Gives them cleave.
Good for gobos, somebody said. Yeah, I suppose it could be good for gobos.
Predator's Trinket's not bad. Make them a quarry and give them cleave. Not a bad one.
I don't know. Again, I don't think I'd use it. Shade Glass Band. Ooh, what's this?
If there are 1 or more crits in
it's
this fighter's
potency.
attack, place a potency counter on the card. When there is 1 or more potency counters on this card, you can re-roll 1 dice in the fighter's attack and defense rolls. It's not bad. Not bad. It's all right.
It's not in
But
this
you've got to roll
fight's
that
attack.
crit.
Oh, yeah, but it's not bad. I get it. Andrew said Predator's Trinket. That's it. I'm making a quarry deck.
Yep, saw that one.
Stealthy Blade.
2 hammers, 2 damage. Pretty basic. Players cannot use reactions during this attack action. That's possibly
Interesting.
nicer, but I don't think I'd take it because
No, because it's normally the attacker who plays them. I know the defender does sometimes.
there's not many defender-related reactions, are there?
I mean, there's the one that puts you on guard, but I think I'm not sure about that one.
Yeah. Into the Glory Hole asks, you don't lose potency token. No, it doesn't look like you do. You just, once you roll a crit, you gain a potency token, and that's it.
How much do you hate rebound? Yeah, if rebound wasn't restricted, that might be better.
Yeah, that's true. Vortex Stone. After this fighter's activation, choose an enemy fighter within 3 hexes. An enemy fighter within 3 hexes, and push the chosen fighter up to 2 hexes. This push must bring the chosen fighter closer to this fighter. Each time the chosen fighter leaves a hex
Each time.
Alright, yeah, sorry. Each time they leave a hex, then discard
a card.
Possibly good for the Aurochs to bring someone within smashing range.
The Aurochs like that card. Hrothgorn probably does too.
Yeah, yep. That's a nice card to have if you're an Auroch. And we're back round to the start. There we go. There are the daughters.
Fast Rider loves this. The sharp one.
You can roleplay Scorpion from Mortal Kombat with that. Get over here. So those are the elves. I'm liking what I see. Oh, Snurk. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yes. Always got one eye on the gobos there.
Always
Jeff.
one eye.
Snurk likes that card.
So I like the elves. They've got the glass cannon sort of thing about them, a bit like Garrick's. But I reckon they might do it better than Garrick.
Yeah, I think so.
Got more toys to play with there. But I don't think we can stop. We need to crash on with the Aurochs.
No Beef Justified says he's very undecided. I am too. I don't think they're going to be played to my strengths, to be honest, because I think they're going to be quite hard to play.
They look complex, therefore
I think they've got potential, but I don't think out and out they're as good as the Aurochs. But we'll have a look.
Yep, so we're just going to crash to the Aurochs. Before I go any further, just a quick thank you to everyone who's joined us tonight. We're up to 53 people. I'm very grateful to see that. It's wonderful for us. My analytics stream thing has completely stopped working, so I can't see any useful information at all.
Okay.
But if you are enjoying what you've heard and seen so far, do give us a thumbs up, do subscribe and like and tick the bell and all that kind of good stuff, because it does help us.
Absolutely.
So that's the begging aside, and whilst we're getting the begging in, Patreon. Have a look on Patreon. We've got a lot of Patreons watching tonight. They'll all tell you it's worth it.
Patreon is lovely. We have good fun over there.
We
do join.
Yeah,
it's great.
Even at the $2 level, you can get
probably get extra games with these two guys, new 2 warbands, and we're going to try. When the autumn or winter comes, we're going to try and up our stuff anyway. So
we say this every year.
And exciting new things coming to Patreon.
Yep. So let's get on with the Aurochs. So first Auroch in, Ardskull. So we know all about the wild tokens.
I can't fire the card. Sorry.
Well, I'll talk. You go looking, and I'll
right.
ad-lib. So Ardskull, he's got his Gore Basher, which is a bit naff. 2 swords, but 3 damage. Range 1 though. And he's movement 3, 1 shield, and 5 wounds. They all have 5 wounds, of course. And obviously he gains a wild token when he makes an attack action in his activation. 1 or more. You can't get 2 tokens on him in any sneaky way without using a ploy that specifically does so. So yeah, there we go. There's Gorbash, and when he does inspire, when he gets those 2 counters, which it's going to take some doing to do, and that's going to be the trick with this warband. I think he gets.
Well, reading these, obviously you read these before you read the cards, and you think, oh, that actually is quite tough.
Yeah.
But it's all going to depend on how many cards it put on war tokens, and we'll have a look at that in a minute. But,
yes.
Yeah,
you've got things like that.
But
but you've got that card like that pulls somebody straight in, that you can then hopefully get clobbering straight away. So you should be able to. There's shenanigans can be had.
Yeah.
And once he does inspire, he goes up to 3 swords, 3 damage, and he gets a scything attack, which is 2 swords, 2 damage, which is a bit poo, but maybe okay if you've got lots of Grimwatch around. And he gets his remove war counters to add +1 damage to his attack, which is.
I'm never such a fan of damage. I feel like he's not going to get his cards removed to do that. I mean, perhaps I'm wrong. I'm never a huge fan of plus damage because you've
got to hit still.
Yeah, and it's before making the attack roll as well. So you kind of like, if you miss, then you've thrown those away.
Yeah.
And there are a couple of other things you could do with them on there. So I think I don't see him getting many more than
maybe the 2.
2 really.
Yeah.
I know, obviously you do get them, but I'm
not going to put any extra ones on him.
I suppose you might as well use them if they're clearing up. But if you any extra, you wouldn't put them on him. I don't think.
Yeah, I agree. Next we've got is Morgok, Boss Chopper. He's got 2 hammers and 3 damage, so he's pretty beefy off the bat. 3 move, 1 shield, 5 damage. It's also worth mentioning that the other guy, he still is only on 1 shield when he's inspired. So he does go up to 4 move though.
Yeah.
Morgok, same inspire condition. He needs 2 counters. He has a funkier ability off the bat though. He can use his wild counters to push the other fighters 2 hexes. Which
I don't know that you would to start off with. You'd get 2 on, wouldn't you? And then
Probably, yeah. Then I'd use him to shove people, but then he can use that. He can do it when he's inspired as well. So
Yeah, I think when he is better when he's inspired.
yeah, he goes up to 3 swords, stays at 3
Yeah.
damage, gets a movement of 4 still, and he also
Well, he gets one more movement. It's not still. He goes up to 4.
Sorry, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they all do that.
And he gets Gerzag's reroll.
He does get the Auric reroll, which
Yeah.
with 3 swords is actually much better than the 2 hams that Gerzag sits on, I think.
Yeah, that's a very good point. It is.
And then we've got Thug, who kind of is a bit like Basher souped up because he's got the 2 smashers, but he's just better.
Well, he's better. Yeah, I mean he's a lot better.
Yeah, so it's the same stat line: 3 move, 1 shield, 5 wounds.
And he gets +1 dice for each when he's inspired for each war counter you move on his attack action, which is just filthy.
Yeah, 3 swords to start with, and it just goes up from there. I mean, he doesn't improve that much when he inspires. He gets 1 extra move, and then he gets the ability to use his war counters. So,
but you put Sting of the Urgrab or Great Strength on it, and just
or that one where you get wounds back when you hit
Mandibles
and stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean he's a good candidate for doing the new Mandibles of the new Avatar of the Urgrab.
Yeah, that's true.
Objective, I think.
Yeah. Yeah. So he's got the most potential of them, apart from Morgok, I think, obviously.
Yeah.
So let's get onto the cards then. So the first Auric card, Avalanche of Aggression. That sounds orky. Score in an end phase if there are more surviving friendly fighters than surviving enemy fighters. Never going to take that. 3 fighter warband. What the fuck?
Yeah. For 1 glory.
Yeah. Oh no. Yeah. 1 glory. Fuck that. Never.
End phase as well. It's just.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then they
This card looks familiar.
Yeah. All enemy fighters out of action. No, not saying that one either.
Tim will take that one. Or he might not. He might take Annihilation, but
I mean, they're the same, aren't they? Yeah. You might as well take the Auric specific one to get that Auric flavour.
Take both.
Oh yeah, that extra psychopathicness. Brutes is the best. Only surviving having the only surviving leader. If it's unlikely, people tend to keep their leaders right at the back or out of harm's way.
Fan of these types of cards.
No. And it's an end phase one again. It's not an instant one, so yeah. Also shits. That's 3 shitty ones so far.
Yeah, I'm not sure this is much better.
No, 6. It's a surge at least, but you need 6 or more war counters on friendly fighter cards, which is.
I really feel that deploying your war at the right time is going to be the key to success with these guys, and therefore having to keep it to score this card.
Yeah.
I think might be a bit much. I do.
Yeah.
The artwork on this card, I'm not sure about it.
What one? It's called To the War.
Yeah, I'm not sure about the artwork.
It's a bit funky.
Yeah.
The one at the very bottom left looks like he's got a Benny Hill chin.
Exactly. Yeah,
very
I'm
odd.
not sure about it at all.
Next one, Good Day's
if
Work.
I said to my son, give these orcs glowing eyes, that's what he'd do.
Yeah. Good Day's Work is next. Score an end phase if there are more enemy fighters out of action than surviving enemy fighters. It's 2 glory, but it's an end phase
This
card.
one I think has more potential. Obviously, it's towards the end of the game, but you have got. That is going to be rewarding you for doing what you want to be doing.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I think this will be in the mix.
Yeah, that one's not a bad one. It's 2 glory as well. You don't get many end phase 2 glories that are that nice.
Yeah.
Got it, boss. Score immediately after an activation if your warband holds 1 or more objectives in enemy territory. It's a surge. It's 1 glory. It's not too bad.
No, I think you might take this one depending on what the.
Yeah.
I think got it, boss is great. Andrew says, yeah, I think it's pretty good.
Yeah, you just got to be a bit canny with where you
It's
put
like
your objective
easy
placements.
swift capture.
It is a bit, yeah, that's true. Next one, in their element, scored an end phase if each surviving friendly fighter is inspired.
Yeah.
No,
I would take it.
It's a shitter version of Fired Up.
Yeah.
Might of the Auric. It's a surge. Score immediately when a friendly fighter's attack action with a damage characteristic of 4 or more succeeds. I don't think any of them have a damage characteristic of 4 or more to start with. So you need upgrades.
No Brief Party says, which one? Got it, boss. Sorry.
No.
I think he was talking about Got it, boss. Ignore me. Might of the Auric. Yeah, I'm not sure I'd take this.
You've got to have a 4 damage attack.
You've got to hit.
You've got to hit.
I'm not sure. I think I'd have to play him to see how often it what happened.
Yeah, but for that you've got to put at least one upgrade on somebody to score that.
Yeah.
Or take a counter off to give him +1 damage, I guess. But you've got to get him inspired then first for that. So I'm not sure. It doesn't fill me with...
I feel like there's still going to be easier surge cards out there to score.
Yeah.
That's really going to come down to.
Yeah,
but I mean it's a possible.
It's not the worst card.
Yeah.
Now what? Score this immediately after an activation if your warband holds 2 or more objectives.
If you've got that other card that we were talking about, you know this is not that difficult to score.
Possibly not. It all depends on how you get. You'd have to have all those objectives placed in the middle somewhere, and then hope that your opponent's not going to hide nearer the back of the board.
No, but I would, again, it would depend on whether you're taking it, but
yeah. Auric Cunning, score immediately another surge when you play your 3rd or subsequent gambit. I think I'd take that.
You think you would?
Play 3 gambits.
Yeah, I think I would. I think I would, especially if you're playing a slightly control-y with some draw cards and then and some movement to draw cards, move the people into position and then crump them. I think that's definitely got potential.
No Beef Just Party says Ploy Master. It is a bit like a better Ploy Master because it's a surge.
Yeah, it's surge.
I think the Beastmen have a card like that as well, and I think so do Grimwatch. So it's a nice card. Proper Rumble, score an end phase if 4 or more fighters are out of action or have wound tokens. That's not a bad one.
Yeah, it's only 1. I suppose that probably reflects that it's easy. It's a bit like a good scrap, isn't it, that they used to have?
It is a bit like that.
So I think it's one of those cards that's probably tricky to score at the beginning and easy at the end, but maybe there are better choices for scoring at the end.
It's any fighter, so it does include your own.
Yeah.
So, undecided might be a bit too poo and
I think good scrap was 2, but it was hard to score. I'm not sure.
Yeah, wasn't that you had to be 3 fighters out of action for good scrap? Was it 3 fighters?
Because they had a similar. They had punch up as well, so I might be getting the 2 confused.
Yeah. Okay.
I can't really what I do.
So
now on to some universals.
Yeah, some universals now. Change of Fortune. Score immediately when a feature token's flipped, so it's a Hrothgorn card.
That contains a friendly fighter. Yeah, and again, if you're doing that build with the one about standing in 2 lethal hexes and things, it's all building towards that. So I can see a place for this card, but in a very specific deck.
Yeah, it's not going to be very common, but it's going to be very common in a certain type of deck.
Yeah.
Master of Battle, scoring an end phase if one surviving friendly fighter took 3 or more actions in the previous phase.
I think the picture says it all there, really.
Yeah. Are you Hrothgorn? Yes.
It's only 1 glory, so.
Yeah, that's a bit much.
Yeah.
Master Poisoner, 2 or more poison gambits. Not a bad one. It's only 1 glory though.
It's only 1 glory. That's the thing. But at least it is a tool.
Yeah.
So you're probably, unless you draw it first go, you're almost certainly going to cash it in when you've got it.
Yeah, that's true. That is true.
Well, assuming you've got poison in your deck. Obviously, if you haven't, you're not going to.
Yeah, that's also true.
Well, I would put this in my poison condemners deck, which I haven't really thought about very much, but I'm thinking I will put this in.
It gives you more reason for taking those poison cards at least.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Meticulous Strategy, score an end phase if you score 3 or more dual objectives. I think this is in the trash pile.
Again, I cannot remember what the dual cards are, but they're not that easy to score, so I think probably
usually not. Yeah, so that's probably a no. But I mean, it could go if you've got that other card as well. Going for the multiple dual and I don't think so though.
No.
Over My Dead Body, brilliant.
Duels are hard. Everybody seems to be.
Yeah, I think they are. Surge card. Score immediately after an enemy fighter's attack that targets a friendly fighter if the friendly fighter was holding an objective at the start of that attack, at the start of that action, they're still holding it. So this is the, Steadfast Defender, someone mentioned in the comments. And the response was that someone said, what's the difference between this and Steadfast Defender? And the response was that you didn't buy the unnecessary gift pack for it. It's kind of similar. And there's also a Nurgle version of this.
Might be in here tonight.
And Wormspat have an identical one for this. So there's 3 of this card.
3 possible. Is it Golvar?
It's good if you've got the stand-on objectives, or if you've got the everybody go on guard thing as well, because obviously you can't get it pushed once you're on guard. But maybe.
And there's going to be questions. I mean, I think I know the answer, but there's going to be questions around that card, which means that you're on one more objective than you are. Because people are going to say, well, if I've got that card in play, does that mean my friendly fighter is holding an objective?
I think it says you
It's a
count as
stupid
holding more than
question,
one. So yeah,
But people are going to ask it.
yeah, people will ask it. Who is the one that counts as holding that objective? Can it not be this guy who's not on any objectives? No, it
Yeah.
can't.
Exactly.
Sorry, into the glory hole. Yes, you can be pushed when you're on guard. I meant you couldn't be knocked back. Is what I meant. So you can be pushed off of objectives,
Yes.
but that card is specifically about being attacked
Yeah.
and not being knocked back. Is what I meant. Next one, Show of Force, is a Surge hybrid. Scores immediately after an activation if 3 or more friendly fighters are in enemy territory, or 1 or more friendly fighters each have 3 or more upgrades. So it's basically a Surge for like Chosen Champion.
Yeah, I think that's a good card. I think.
Yes, because you've got 2 ways of doing it. So
Yeah, and it suits most of the warbands that play it. So it's good for Rippers. It's good for the Aurochs.
yeah, it's not a bad one.
I think that's going to
Great
fit
for
in now.
everyone,
This
really.
card.
Great for everyone, really, because it's just put 3 upgrades on somebody. And
Yeah.
the Avatar Risen grub build.
This is going to see some play, I think.
Yeah, I think there's definitely going to be an all eggs one basket sort of
Yeah.
build for this kind of thing.
Yeah.
Put all of the upgrades on someone, make them an grub, and then get 3 glory.
Yeah.
Which is going to be a shame, because I worry that that's going to mean it's going to get too powerful, and then this is going to be a must-have, and then they'll have to start restricting all those cards, and then no one will take them.
Yeah. They'll ruin it then.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Anonymous Jeff says that the Thorns, the Grimwatchers, and the Gits all have ways of getting people into enemy zones for scoring Show of Force. That is true.
Yeah.
So I think it is a good card.
War Unleashed.
Black Hunger, Urgrub, Skaven. Yeah.
Ooh,
That kind of thing.
dirty.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Blue Horror.
But the Black Hunger is the one where you can hit everybody around
Yeah.
you.
Oh, I
that,
see.
that
Oh,
could
yes.
do some
Yeah.
real nasty damage.
I was thinking of Expendable.
Yeah, that too. Stick that on there. You want to take them out, but at the same time you don't.
Yeah.
War Unleashed. Score this in the end phase if you removed 4 or more war counters from friendly fighters' fighter cards in the previous
We've
phase.
jumped back to Auroch ones.
We're back in the Auric specific land again. Now someone's saying, put this out there, counters are removed when fighters die, and someone else says, this is surely not how it works. It says if you remove 4 more, well you do remove counters from the cards, don't you?
Yeah,
so,
but it doesn't count.
Oh, they have it doesn't count in that situation, so so basically you've just got to use like 4 war counters basically to score this, which is possibly okay.
Yeah, but again, you don't want to be forced into using your war counters just to score this, because I think the war counter economy is going to be vital to making these guys work.
Yeah.
So I just think, you'd have to play them a few times to see whether it was worth playing that, and I suspect it probably isn't.
It potentially forces your hand, which you don't want to have to do.
No.
Trading.
Jump back to universals.
Yeah, I'm not sure what the logic was here at all. Score this immediately after a friendly fighter's attack action made as a reaction, during or immediately after an enemy fighter's attack action. What?
Are there many options here?
Not many, I don't think.
You've got there's a new upgrade, which is a combo interruption.
You've got the Magor ones, which is a season 1 tenuous link, but yeah, there is that. Someone said this screams Snarl
This during
fans.
or immediately after, yeah. It's got Magor loves it, Rob says, yes. Yeah, Magor loves it.
Well, not even Magor specifically, but his 2 buddies.
Yeah.
I mean, it's good for them, and it is a surge, which is nice in that situation, but yeah, there's not many other reactionary attacks. I'm not sure about that one. Bright Shield as well when inspired, good point, no beef, just party, but not 100% sure on that one. And this one, next, Feed the Beastgrave. This is going to be destroy objectives.
Yeah, I haven't worked out exactly how many cards there are that do it, but I feel like I've said this on our Discord. I feel like there's a viable Eyes of the Nine build, scoring this at Urgrub.
I think either this one, I think Eyes of the Nine could possibly pull this off. Gits possibly, Hrothgorn I think are the 3.
Yeah, Hrothgorn, because he's got at least one of his own ones to do it, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's hard, but I would like,
For 5 glory, you haven't got to worry about hitting people and stuff like that. So,
but you possibly have to get your spells off though. Guardians too. Oh yeah, Guardians can flip tokens.
they've only got one.
They can destroy them. They can destroy them.
They've only got one though, haven't they?
Yeah. Have they got one?
They've got one, which is when she's standing on an objective,
Right,
she can destroy it and heal. So,
and then a couple of that was going to go out of the game, isn't it? So and
no, I think it's a faction specific.
Sorry, not her. Sorry, Sorcerer's Scouring. I'm thinking of that's going to go out of the game.
Yeah, yeah,
yeah. But I would like to make that work. Whether it's possible or not, I don't know.
I think Aragian Argo has pointed out can be bad versus aggro. Could be possibly quite bad versus
true.
aggro.
Yeah.
So yeah, next one, Berserk Fortitude, another Orc one. So we're back to Orc ones. That previous one wasn't an Orc one, obviously. Berserk Fortitude placed during an attack action that targets a friendly fighter before the deal damage step. Remove wild counters to basically reduce the damage by 1. So possibly good.
Yeah, possibly good. Possibly good. It's a sort of on the fly fortitude, which I think is handy.
Yeah, yeah, and it's also nice because you can choose when to use it, so you don't have to blow it all up front before they then miss the attack.
Yeah.
And
it's a reaction. No beef, just about it being a reaction.
Yeah, it's a reaction.
And you.
It's just a nice card. Gives you that survivability.
Yeah, it's a reaction. So it stops. Does it stop Potion of Rage?
Yeah. So I think Berserk Fortitude's definitely an almost must-have for the Orcs.
Yeah, before the deal damage step. So when he's down, it's not before Potion of Rage. I don't think actually, but I can't work it out. It's getting late. I'm getting tired.
Berserk Strength is next. This is a similar one, but friendly fighter attack basically blow wild counters to increase the damage. So it's a bit like one of the fighters already has, but you're going to use that.
Yeah, again, I wouldn't take that one. I might take Fortitude, but I wouldn't take.
Yeah. Again,
I don't think.
It's
Yeah.
Brawl, because you're basically you've got to rely on that hit, which you just don't.
Yeah, I mean, if you've loaded up on accuracy, but even then, you all know that goes on. I'll be wrong.
Yeah. Brawling is next. Choose one friendly fighter adjacent to one or more enemy fighters. Place a wild counter on them. Very nice.
Yeah, I think that's a must-have.
It's almost a turn 1 inspiration, possibly if you charge and then use that.
Yeah. Brutal
attack, +1 dice to the first attack made by friendly fighter. After the attack, place 1 wild counter. So again, it's another way of a turn 1 inspire almost.
Yeah, really good.
So they're both must-haves, I think.
Yeah.
Brutal Cunning.
Ah,
so it's basically. So basically, after a move action, make an attack with them. That's almost a must-have, I think.
Well, it's really good, isn't it? I mean, it's brutal but cunning, isn't it? And it's because of the wild mechanic. It's just really, really good.
Yeah, you combine that with something like brutal attack or brawling, and you've inspired them without actually having to charge them at all or anything, and they can still hit other people.
That card sounds really familiar, Rob.
And the next one is brutal reprisal.
A lot of these very brutal. These cards.
Very brutal. A lot of reactions as well. Plays during an attack action that targets a friendly fighter and succeeds. Before the drive back, the friendly fighter cannot be driven back and make an attack action. So that's useful with that objective we saw earlier. The problem with these kind of cards, I find, is if your opponent doesn't go for very offensive play, you can get stuck with a load of reactions that you can't do anything with.
Brutal reprisal is a must-have, Andrew says. I mean, it's a really good card.
Especially since they're 5 wound models.
Exactly, and the fear of having it is enough. So the thought of you having it is enough to put your opponent off doing what they're doing.
But the attack does not give them a wild token. It's important to point that out.
Yes.
So, but it's still good. Still very nice for the extra attack.
Does it not give them a wild token?
No, because the wild tokens are only earned after that fighter's activation.
Okay,
in which
right.
They
Yes,
made
you're
an
right.
attack,
It's not.
so.
Yes, you're right. Yeah.
No, see, Rob Watts says it's during the attack, so the Orc would get a wild token. I don't think they do. It blocks snare and stuff like that, but it doesn't give them a wild token because the wild token's only earned during their activation, in which they make an attack. Whereas this is an attack in someone else's activation against you. So I don't think it does. But I'm happy to be proved wrong.
No, they wouldn't get a token.
No, I don't think they would.
That's what people are saying.
But it's still nice. It's still a free attack. There's very few free attacks in this game.
Yeah.
Eager Advance is next. Choose one friendly fighter and push them 1 hex. Play place one war counter on that chosen fighter's card. Another push shenanigan and gain a war counter. See, I think the Oryx have the mechanics and the cards to back it up, whereas Nurgle, they had those cycle cards. But they were kind of like an afterthought, and they didn't really go with what you want to do with the Nurgle fighters. So, but the Oryx seem to have it gelled much better, I think. Yeah. Next one, Cunning Brutality.
Yeah, we've had that card before.
Yeah, that's a nice one. That's a very nice one. It's almost a given. These are going to be one of those warbands where you're going to see a lot of Oryx cards in their decks because their cards are just great.
Yeah, this card is really nice, although Second Wind in Shadespire is actually better. Oh no, not this one. Sorry, I'm getting confused. It's Brutal but Cunning. It's Brutal but Cunning that's actually better. But this one is just, it's great for these guys because you want to keep up that...
getting in people's faces. Yeah. So if you can push someone up and just make an attack, then you can place and push them again and make another attack without having to waste a charge or anything like that.
Yeah, and presumably, if you were attacked and you play Brutal Reprisal, you could then push them 3 hexes away. If it was your go next.
Possibly.
It's half an attack action. No, it's played after. Yeah,
after a friendly first attack
if somebody
action, you
plays
could.
Brutal Reprisal, you made an attack action
You could
in
possibly
your opponent's
club
go, then push them 3 hexes, and then kill somebody else in the next turn.
And then charge somebody else after that just to really piss your opponent off. Yeah, they are quite. Yeah. Next one is Power of the War. Choose 1 friendly fighter and roll 2 magic dice. For every swirly you heal 1 wound. It's not a bad card, but I'm not sure I'd take it. The healing is nice for Oryx because they've got 5 wounds apiece, but I'm not sure if I'd take the card.
No, it's 2 magic dice though.
Yeah.
So, but it's
only a 1 in 3 chance.
Yeah, and it's only 1 fighter. I'm not sure. Much as I'd like to take it,
I probably wouldn't. The chances of getting 0 is
I'd be even less likely to take the next one.
The next one is War Energy. Roll 1 magic dice for each surviving friendly fighter. On a lightning, place a war counter on that fighter's card. Well, you've got a 50-50 chance per fighter.
Yeah, I just don't think... I'd much rather take things where I'm going to push somebody up and then you advance and then give them a war counter.
Yeah, possibly.
I mean, you could get really lucky, but... Oh no, Andrew says War Energy is good. I don't agree with you, Andrew.
You're wrong and I'm right, and I've got the microphone.
I think it's one of those things. It's not reliable enough for me. I like my reliability. I suppose you're probably going to get at least 1 counter, and if you're lucky, you'll get 2.
Yeah. If you're jamming, you get 3. Those are the rolls I'd end up getting 3 crits on. I go, they don't count. Awesome.
Yeah, that's exactly it. So I'm not sure.
I agree with no beef. If it included crits, it would be a must-have, but that would make it a 3+.
Yeah, Lightnings are 4+, Andrew, are they though? Because there's only 2 of them.
Lightnings are, yes.
Are they?
Lightnings have 3 sides. Swirlies have 2 sides. And 1
okay.
crit.
And there's one crit. Okay, sorry, yeah, that's my bad.
Mr. Groove says it's not good.
Tim says it's not good at all. Well, Tim knows.
I don't know. I'm the gambling side of me loves this card. To suddenly get a war count on every fighter just sounds great. But on the other hand,
mechanics of the fake war spells is funny. That's what Javier says, and I kind of agree with that. I like the theory of them. I just can't see them in competitive play where you need reliability. I just can't see them being played.
And honest Jevs, it's just GW trying to sell magic dice to Warwick players. Cynical GW marketing. Love it.
Rosa would take it.
I'm undecided. The gambler in me would possibly take it. Berserk Whirl. Reaction after this fight's activation, scatter 2 and move them along that chain. If you cannot push this fighter into an empty hex, nothing happens. It's just an extra 2 move after activation. Yeah. It's not terrible because it's a push, so you could put them on guard and shove him forwards.
I don't think I can take it though.
No, it's a bit random.
All right.
Hello everyone. Hello all rat minis.
Tim does not like that card.
Which one?
I assume Berserk Whirl.
Yeah, I'm not sold on that one. It's a bit random.
Brute Charge, however, I do quite like.
Rolls of hammers and swords are successes for this fight. Yeah. It's range 1 attacks made as part of a charge.
Yeah, it's part of a charge, but late in the game.
It's not a bad card to have. Magor have a similar one as well, I think, for Zarkus.
Yeah, I think so. And it's just, this is where you might use your war counters to do damage.
Yeah.
feel like it's...
Yeah, because he rolls swords, doesn't he? So that would make him much more accurate all of a sudden.
Yeah, yeah.
Next one is knockback 1. No one's going to use that one. No one gives a shit about knockback.
No.
Incredible Bellow.
He's a jolly good fellow.
You can either push all adjacent enemy fighters up to 2 hexes, or push all other friendly fighters up to 1 hex. It's a Morgok specific one. It's nice for the push, but
it's an
probably,
action though.
Yeah, so there's probably better things out there. I
just can't imagine, and it's restricted. I can't see where you would have it.
Aragian Argo points out they all roll swords. I think everyone apart from Morgok when inspired.
Yeah, so I think I would certainly look at putting brute charge in. I just think it's a...
The only problem with it is it has to be a charge, which is always
a bit
exactly limited.
That is true. That is true.
But you know, as far as upgrades go, maybe that's not a bad upgrade to take. What have we got next on our list? Next one is Inured to Pain. Basically, it's Arded, reduced by 1 damage.
Yeah, I think that's a good card for these, especially if they've got 5 wounds.
Timothy Groove says no, not a good idea. Which one's not a good idea?
I think that's the previous one.
Against Bellow. Yeah, I'm not sold on Bellow. Inured to Pain. Probably wouldn't, but it's not limited to any particular fighter, which is nice.
I think I would take Inured to Pain.
Yeah, I think that's better now. It's not
really strong.
Limited. Good on Morgok as well, considering there's 6 wounds.
Yeah, keen chopper. This goes with perfect drilling.
Who basically gives Morgok cleave. Not bad.
Yeah, I don't think I'd take it. Cleave. There's not so many shield warbands these days, are there?
Yeah, not as many. No.
Not sure. Take it.
Seething Hatred. You can reroll any number of attack dice in the attack action for this fighter. It targets a fighter with a wound characteristic of 4 or more. I think for that reason I probably wouldn't take that.
No, if it was not restricted as well, it's restricted too. I don't think that's a very good card.
And he's the one who rolls more dice anyway, so he's already got more accuracy for him.
Yeah, no, I can't see that happening.
Vengeful Glare. Birdie goes tweet tweet. After an attack action that target this fighter, place a wild counter on them. That's not bad.
Yeah, that's handy.
Good on Morgok or something like that. Start to get him upgraded. Brad Adams asked in the comments on that one, who's this fighter and what warband are they from? I demand answers. Well, that is from this very warband. I can't remember his name. I've already forgotten his name. The other one's called Thug, but I can't remember this one.
I reckon it's actually Luggett. And it's got his helmet on.
Vessel of the War is next. Ardskull only. That's who it was. It was Ardskull. Place a war counter on this fighter for each friendly fight within 2 hexes. That's not bad.
Yeah, it's not bad. It is an action.
Yeah, but you could, depending on who you're up against, you could possibly dump like 6 war counters on him if you're up against the Grots or something like that.
War count. Yeah, I mean, yeah.
And inspired, he has the scything attack, doesn't he?
Yeah. There's each friendly fighter as well, so it's definitely got. Yeah.
Could put a lot on him and inspire him very quickly. Andrew Myers says it seems rubbish, so what do I know? Moving on.
Just think it's poor. I don't think it's great action economy.
No, possibly not, because it needs an activation to do.
5. So I'm not sure I'd have it. A war head, but I wouldn't have this one either.
2 hammers, 2 damage. Remove any number of war counters plus 1 damage to that attack action for each counter removed. 2 hammers, 2 damage. I mean, I guess if you've got some other cards to get you to roll extra dice beforehand, maybe, but yeah, not sold on that one. I do like the description of it though. Lesser headbutt, more a god-powered cranial battering ram.
No beef, just parties. As best of the war, you would be first action of the round, which is true because you'd be likely to have less fighters than everybody else. But I still don't think it basically means it's round 2 and 3 card.
Yeah,
I don't think it's great.
Not sold on Headbutt, Blind Hunger. So we're on to the generic ones again.
Generic, yeah.
It's a spell. 1 lightning is required. If cast, pick 1 opponent and randomly determine 1 power card in their hand. That card is discarded. Ooh.
I think it's pretty good.
Ooh, that could be good. I mean, you've got to randomly pick one, but I think
it's pretty good for warbands that are trying to cast a lot of spells. It's easy to cast, and if you're perhaps, for example, playing uncontested or something, and your opponent's holding one power card, and it's probably distraction.
Yeah.
Or sidestep, then it could cause mayhem. I would consider taking that in certain builds.
And considering quite often people are running really tight 20 card decks now and stuff like that, the ability to suddenly go, that card you've been gripping hold of for ages, waiting to use, F you.
Yeah, exactly. I think it's got potential.
It's got feet. It's got legs. Next one's Blood Scent, +2 dice for the first attack. In the next activation, if the target has 1 or more wounds, it's like a slightly better slightly different Haymaker.
Yeah, I think that's better than Haymaker, though, isn't it?
Yes and no. You've got to rely on them already having a wound.
They do have to have a wound token.
Yeah, but if so, there's no downside.
With the Archer, there's a picture of the Daughter of Cain on the card. With the Archer, for example, you soften somebody up. On the next turn, give somebody +2 dice. It's pretty.
Or even just have a ploy that does a wound someone. Or possibly somebody's already done a
calculated risk.
Yeah, someone's already calculated risk. Something.
I think that's going to be in a lot of decks.
No Beef says that Haymaker does leave you open, and you're right, it does leave you open. So that, but if both have their pluses and minuses. I feel you can use Haymaker wherever, whenever. Somebody
just said, just imagine pulling out an Urgrub card. Yeah, that would be painful. Or if you were going for the flip objectives things and you took one of the flip objective cards off of it.
Yeah, or like one of the major ones. Yeah, that'd be good. Closing Jaws. Play this only in a power step following your activation. We've never had any of those before. At the end of the next activation, to the end of your opponent's activation, choose one enemy fighter in an edge hex and they're dealt 1 damage.
Can't see it.
It's like a slightly crapper version of Cave In or whatever it's called, Collapse, and all the other cards. So.
And the other, I just can't. Because it forces somebody off the edge, I suppose. But more often than not, you want people on the edge, so I'm not quite sure.
I guess
unless they're on an objective on the edge.
Yeah.
They're retired, but I can't see.
Mr. Marlowe wrote some replies to this card. Yes, you did, Mr. Marlowe. There we go.
Did he?
Yeah. Just on the comments on the Facebook.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, and also if you've got somebody who's already moved to an edge hex, it forces people to make a decision sometimes.
Yes.
Which is handy in some ways. And if you're against a bigger warband who have multiple people on edge hexes, they're kind of buggered anyway. So. Anonymous Jeff said again they used this in the quiz.
Just laughing at that.
Did they? I don't remember that.
Yeah, they did. They put it up by mistake and nobody knew what it was.
I don't remember even seeing that one. Oops.
Well, yeah, you're obviously too deep into your mango ciders or whatever it was.
I was at that point. Dulling Dart, another poison. Choose one enemy fighter adjacent to one friendly fighter. -1 dice from that enemy fighter's attack actions. Persists till the end of the round of the taken out of action. -1 dice could be handy.
Could be handy. Again, it's good for good high movement, high number card people. I like it for goblins.
Yeah, it's good for goblin stuff. And if you're up against something like a Morgok, you're like, oh, you're going to be rolling 1 hammer now, are you?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So yeah, that's not a bad one. Good for a poison deck. Go to ground. I like go to ground. It took me 3 attempts to read this card properly.
Yes, it's a good card though, isn't it, I think?
Choose a friendly fighter with no move or charge tokens. You can place them on a starting hex in your territory. If they're a quarry, you can place them on any hex in your territory. Give them a charge token. So that's good for that other card which is standing on an objective and having a charge token.
Yeah.
Which, could...
Or standing them in a lethal hex.
Yeah.
For the other one. It's got potential, that card. Or shortcut.
Yeah, possibly, yeah.
High score shortcut.
Headlong Flight, +1 move for the first fight to make a move action, +2 move if they're a quarry. Don't think
again,
this one.
It's not great. It's not bad if you're a 5 movement warband and you've got quick thinker. You're not quick thinker. Cover ground.
Yeah, true.
It's not bad, but
I think there's other ways that are better.
It's equally not great.
Yeah. Punch Drunk. Reaction. Place during a friendly fighter's range 1 to attack that succeeds before the drive back step. Instead of driving the target back, scatter 3 from the target hex and push them along the chain. I don't think I'll ever take that one.
No, I don't think I would. I don't think I would. I can see where it could be hilarious if you had a number of lethal hexes knocking around, but yeah, I can't imagine taking that.
Yeah. Yeah, it's too specific, really. I mean, it's good if you've got lots of lethal hexes, but otherwise I don't think it's really worth that much. Scavenge defense, +1 defense in the next attack action, in the next activation. It's alright. But you've got to choose a fighter.
I like it for the Aurochs because their defense is quite crap.
Yeah, Nurgle wouldn't mind either.
No, that's true. I suppose it's reasonably good for it's good for anybody who hasn't got access to spectral armor and things like that. I suppose.
Yeah.
Because there aren't very many things that buff shield defenses.
But
so
you do have to choose a friendly fighter. So
you do. So it has got limited use.
But even if you put it on a fighter and then your opponent decides to attack somebody else, it's protected that fighter for a round, so it's still done what you wanted it to.
Rob's made the point it's good for scaling because it's choose.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, we can.
And they're actually, I seem to remember thinking that. Ignore me.
Okay.
It's getting late.
The ground shifts. Pick one lethal hex token and push it 1 hex into an empty hex that is not a lethal hex and does not contain a feature token. So I'm kind of ambivalent about this one. Move a lethal hex rather than move an objective.
I can't see that being great.
I mean, it could be useful if you want to use. I mean, no, I don't really like this one. I mean, if you're looking
Method in the Madness, it's probably good for scoring Method in the Madness, isn't it, Andrew? Because you can put your lethal hex in the right place.
Yeah, it's true. It does help with that a bit, but otherwise,
other than that, that's a very niche case.
Yeah. I mean,
the next card is possibly my favourite card in the whole.
Abasoth's Auto-Immolation.
the whole shebang. I just love this card.
Basically,
I don't ever take it.
It's crap, but yeah. Basically, if you get killed, you roll a dice. You try and cast this spell, and if it works, you do 1 damage to each attacker on a roll of a hammer or a crit.
Yeah.
It looks brilliant. It's a great description, and it's a shit card that I'll never take.
Yeah. It's got some. It's great review. Somebody said, "Indomito's off."
See you, Indomito. Thanks for joining us tonight. Hopefully we'll see you soon.
It's got great hilarity potential.
Yeah.
But
I think it should do more damage considering it's a spell that you need to cast. But yeah. Amberbone sword.
Always three hammers is tasty.
3 hammers is always nice. 2 damage.
A good one that is. A mighty blade, perhaps even fashioned by the silent people. So those silent people again. We're going to see them in season 4.
Silent, happy people holding swords. Claws the grab, gives them ensnare.
Yeah.
Another
how many aspects are there now? Are there just the 3?
I feel like there's 4, but
okay.
People can shout in the chat. How many Urgrub cards are there?
3 aspects, Rob said. There's mandibles and
man nipples
and whatever the sting.
The sting.
Yeah.
And there's only 3.
Yeah, I could see this. I could definitely see an Urgrub build for the Oryx. This is tasty for them. Yeah. Them ensnare.
Because they'd have ensnare. They'd have the thing where they get a wound back every time they wound somebody, and they'd have +1 damage.
Yeah.
I can't remember what being the Urgrub actually being the aspect of the Urgrub does.
I think I'm not quite sure. I know it stops you scoring the one for you put 3 upgrades on you because they get taken off. but apart from that, I think it's good.
Mr. Tim likes this card.
Yeah. For Aurochs and
next
Rippers.
one.
Yeah, Rippers would be good for them.
Yeah.
Cursed Blade.
2 hammers, 3 damage, +1 move. But you must activate this fighter first each round, and at the start of this fighter's activation, you deal 1 damage to them. And after that activation, give them a charge token.
Good for goblins.
Yeah, not bad for goblins, although they wouldn't last long. So do you give it something like the Oryx?
They don't last long anyway. But they, I suppose, if you, I don't know. I kind of feel like the Oryx have got other alternatives without having to go through this kind of rigmarole. They've got the damage, they've got some sword output, whereas a crappy red cap charging into you at movement 5 could be bad.
We might have to call it a day in a minute because
1 damage works for range 1 and 2. Rob says.
We might have to call it here soon because it is already 20 to midnight and I'll be dead soon.
Are there many left?
I don't know if we've got Hunter's Will. Have we got any more Orc ones? We've only got a few left. Let's power through them. Quick. Let's go. Hunter's Will. After a quarry moves or is pushed from an adjacent hex, you can push them until they're next to them again. Restrict Hunters. Don't think I'll ever take that.
No, I didn't even listen to what you said. Now this card is an interesting one.
Prescient Blow. It's possibly ruining and also possibly not because you've only got the attacker's actions, dice characteristic cannot be modified, so it's always one sword. During attack action that targets this fighter, make the attack roll. It's a bit like can't think of the card out.
I don't know. But it would score you that objective. That's one reason to have it, and it has the potential to combo. So you could, if you were lucky enough to hit, be really good because if you had another combo attack. But I know a lot of people like it, but
it has the potential to really stuff people up though. Because if you get that initial combo hit off. Sorry, Tim. Thanks for coming. We are going to be done very, very soon. And thanks to everyone who's joined us tonight. Don't forget to give us a thumbs up, like, follow, and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I nearly said see you, Tim, to the card description while I wonder off.
So I don't know. This card could be great, could be rubbish. I'm undecided, but it has the possible to really ruin someone's day.
Yeah, I'm not sure I'd take it.
The Soul Ward Shard is a bit eh. After an enemy moves and casts a spell, pick a fight. This fight can then take 1 damage, and you can either choose to not resolve the spell, or they don't take any damage.
It's a funny one. I think in a magic heavy meta you might see some play, but I don't think on the odd chance you got those Curse Breakers or Kacharik, Vortus. I'm just not sure.
Yeah, and especially with there was another card which was when somebody casts.
Great as usual. Why is it great, Andrew?
It's a bit like that other card, the thingy mirror one, which was basically if when someone casts a spell, you can cast that spell as well. Again, because so few people have magic going on, it just wasn't worth taking. Not sure about it. Next one, Strength of Terror. Fighters a quarry. If they're a quarry, +1 dice, their range 1 and 2 attacks. That's not a bad quarry card.
No, especially combined with that upgrade. I think that's Strength of Terror. There's definite. You can null any spell, Andrew says. Yeah, well, that is quite good, I suppose.
Yeah, that is true. It's a reaction that you could. Well, you can only do it once because then you have to discard the card.
Yeah.
So you can null any one spell.
Yeah, and even then, they still. I know they dealt one now. Okay, yeah.
Yeah. So, but you still got to. You only get 1 spell. So not sure I'd take it. Strength of Terror, +1 dice, and you're a quarry. Not bad at all. And last one is Warding Companion. When this fighter is the target of an attack action, they're considered to have 1 more supporting fighter than they do.
Yeah, it's like Soulbound, but for defensive things.
Yep, and you don't have to pick another fighter, so not bad at all.
No.
Could be very useful for certain fighters, especially people who only get 1 shield, possibly.
Spookies will love it.
Possibly.
No, you said it.
Possibly. So there we go. There are all the cards we have crashed through the lot, and I think we will probably have to call it there because it's 1:45 already. And I don't know about Robin, but I'm nearly dead.
No, I'm pretty tired. I feel pretty buzzing too at the same time.
Yeah, but my brain's going 100 miles an hour, but also my body is saying if we don't stop soon, you're just going to fall apart.
Which is so hot, I won't be sleeping for a while anyway. No league draw, Rosa says. No league draw, I have to wait, Rosa. Sorry.
I will do the league draw tomorrow morning, Rosa, and I will put the comments in our Patreon chat. Anybody who joins our Patreon...
at least it's cooled down. I assume that's a joke because he's in smiling. Because it's certainly not cooled down here.
No, it's certainly not cooled down. I've got 2 fans on me at the moment. I've got one over one side and one over the other side. It's not helping.
No.
So there we go.
Making your beer wobble.
Yeah.
Thank you, everybody. As usual, I'm like overwhelmed with possibilities. I'm looking to see what Andrew's quarry deck is like. He's going to do a quarry deck.
There are so many different cards.
I think the Aurochs are more immediately obviously good than the Witch Elves. Who knows? What will happen as people come up with interesting builds. I do feel like the Aurochs are straight out of the box better.
I think the Aurochs could be better if they're up against
versus Wormspat.
Yeah, possibly, but then I think in this situation, yes, because Morgwaeth is going to struggle to kill the Oryx, and they can't expire until they kill someone. But
I just mean generally anyway. I mean, the Oryx are more obviously good than the elves, but in the same way as the Wormspat have started to come back into it in the meta. Maybe the elves there'll be good builds out there. I think the good builds are less obvious.
Yeah, I think Morgwaeth will excel in a sort of in that flex meta with aggro and objective grabbing, a bit like Garrick used to. You're going to go for slaughtering your opponent, but you're also going to go for those objectives, and like the ones where you hold one more than you actually count as having done, so you only have to have one person on objective to score some of them and that kind of thing. So
yeah, I'm not very good at kind of imagining how things will marry up with existing cards and existing players, which obviously other people are much better at than me, particularly in this heat. I just look at it and go, I don't know what's going on.
Rosa says you don't play them against each other because the daughters will not be inspiring. That is a question we'll have to ask our patrons, is do we play Oryx versus daughters games, or do we do like Oryx versus somebody and then daughters versus someone else? They'd have to be from Beastgrave in that situation, because we'd have to use the starting decks, I think, to be sort of fair, and also
straight out of the box decks.
Yeah, and also to give us any hope of having anything set up and ready in time, I think.
Yes, assuming don't know. Who knows when we'll get the warbands?
No, we have no idea. If we're waiting to pre-order them, then it'll be 3 or so weeks before you're going to see a battle report.
Yeah.
Daughters versus Despoilers. Maybe Daughters versus Despoilers and Oryx versus Wormspat.
There's something vaguely wrong about the phrase "daughters versus Despoilers."
Bring your daughter to the Despoilers. Yeah, I'm not 100% sure. I think they're, like say, out of the starting block, those two warbands against each other, daughters might be struggling.
Daughters versus Grimwatch, that'd be an interesting matchup.
Yeah, possibly Daughters v Grimwatch. But who would you pit the Oryx against? Hrothgorn or Nurgle, I guess. Maybe.
Yeah.
But we'll have to ask our patrons and see what they want to see. Rosa says pit them against the top dogs. It has to be a Beastgrave warband though, because it'll have to be somebody who has a out of the box starting deck.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah. We'll see when we get the warband. I suspect we won't have them in time for this week.
Oh no, we won't get them in time for this week because we're not meeting until Thursday night to play.
Well, yeah, that's true. But I don't know. We have, sometimes we get them early, but I've not heard that we will. So I think the chances of getting them early for this week are slim. Yeah. And I kind of feel that if we don't get them early for this week, we probably won't get them early at all. But we'll see.
Yeah, I think if we don't get them this week, we'll be on pre-order like everybody else. So we'll see how we get on.
Get them to you as quick as we can.
Yes, as always, we have limited time and resource with. Well, actually, resource is fine. It's the time that always kills us. So
yeah, definitely.
So we will be seeing you all. So thank you again for everyone who joining in. Do give us a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Do like, subscribe, and follow, and all that jazz. The Google Sheet, Pajama Gagarin asks, it's our season 5 Patreon tournament. That's what that's all about. If you are a Patreon member, you can join our Warhammer Underworlds Online tournaments, which we run on about a 3-4 weekly basis.
Yes,
and you can get that at the $2 level. You'll get access to Discord where there's loads of chat and paint and tactics and general nonsense and all that kind of stuff. It's always
general
a good watch.
Nonsense. Yes, he's a member of our Discord, is he? General Nonsense.
He is a very nice chap. So thank you all for tuning in.
Understand a word he's saying.
But thanks everyone for watching. If you do have any comments, do put them in the comments below. Next week we'll be back. We'll be talking about well, I don't know what we'll be talking about. Maybe these warbands a bit more, or maybe we'll be talking about something a bit more generic. And we will be doing a Beastgrave giveaway soon. So if you haven't got a copy of Beastgrave, keep posted for that one.
Yes, yeah, we've got that coming up. We may revert to our loot box conversation. We're going to talk about the loot boxes.
Yeah,
but maybe that's old hat by now.
Yeah, maybe not, but we'll see. Maybe we'll bring that up and we'll fill people in on the giveaway at the same time.
Yeah, absolutely. All right then, everybody. Thank you very much for listening. I hope you found this helpful and useful and interesting and good fun. So we may not be the most expert Warhammer players, Underworld players, but we do have the best puns, I believe.
Yeah.
Although Shield City Shadespire puns are pretty good too.
Yeah, they don't do bad. Do bad. But you know what? Whilst they all might bring home the glass, we always bring home the laughs.
Have you been working on that, or did you just think of it?
No, it just came off the top of my head.
That's why we're the best.
Yep. No, not really. But never mind. So we'll see you all soon, guys. Thanks, and we'll see you in the
Cheers, everyone.
Beastgrave. Bye.
Bye.